DeVonta Smith is a genius doing Howie Roseman's job without doing Howie Roseman's job. And because of this, the Dallas Cowboy fans are going to see Micah Parsons in an Eagles jersey. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, kick Dingbat here, and you know what? DeVonta Smith is a genius. He's a genius. He has been doing Howie Roseman's job without doing Howie Roseman's job. And, you know, I've always wondered, when these Eagles players, they hold these charity events and they bring in players from other teams, does that influence those other players eventually to come to the Eagles? Does it ever? Well, guess what? I think it does. And DeVonta Smith has secretly been recruiting without recruiting players on other teams, and it's worked, okay? There was a very interesting article that I wanted to talk about because I was like, I knew it. But there was an article in NewJersey.com. I'll post the link in the description. It was by Caden Steele. And the title of it was, Why Eagles Star Believes Charity Events Convinces Free Agents to Join the Team. And it's such an interesting thing, right? Eagles wide receiver DeVonta Smith believes free agents who are interested in joining the team can learn more about their culture during his annual celebrity softball game held at Coca-Cola Park in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Get this. During the last 2 off seasons, the Eagles have signed 2 players who participated in the event. Safety Terrell Edmonds, and then also Saquon Barkley. So they both became Eagle players after joining the softball game. That is so interesting to me. Here's what DeVonta Smith said, right? When guys come out here, they see the type of guys we are and have fun, which ultimately helps them make the decision, Smith told reporters on Saturday. I'm not going to say we are out here recruiting, but when it comes down to it, that's something that they probably think about. And, he goes on to say that, it helps them make the decision. And it makes total sense. You look at Saquon Barkley, comes out last year, plays in a softball game, gets to see how the Eagle players are, and he probably likes the vibe, and it probably definitely, or at the very least, it's got to play a determining factor of, well, I kind of liked what I saw there. I kind of liked what I had there. So maybe, just maybe, DeVonta Smith is on to something. Maybe he is. And I think it's absolutely genius. It's not recruiting, but it is, in a way, it's planting seeds in it's like Inception, right? It's the movie Inception. You're planting seeds, but you're making the players think that they think about it. Because eventually, it has to come up in his mind. Saquon Barkley at some point had to think about and say, hey, you know what? I kind of know those players. I played softball. I like the vibe there. Yeah, let's go to Philly. Yeah, you just have to, right? So the question then has to become this. If that is all true, and they're influencing, players on other teams or planting the seeds in their mind that Philly would be a good place, we have to ask ourselves, what players are out there that could be future Eagles based upon the fact that DeVonta Smith held a softball game? Basically, what I'm asking is, who the hell was there? Who was there? Jets tight end Kenny Yeboah, who becomes a free agent in 2025, could provide depth in the tight end room and play on special teams. In 2026, Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert could leave the team in free agency. Backup tight end Grant Calcaterra will also be a free agent that offseason. After the 2024 season, Eagles tight end C.J. Uzomah and Albert O are going to become free agents. So the Eagles are basically going to have one free agent by the end of this year. It's going to be Dallas Goedert. They're going to have to figure out if they want to go out and sign somebody. Yeboah could be somebody watch. So if they sign him as a depth piece after this year, you know why. Who else was there? 2 years from now, Cincinnati Bengals cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt could be a free agent. Now, hopefully we won't need any corners, but if maybe you need depth or something like that, there you go. Cam Taylor-Britt, possible Philadelphia Eagle. And here's one of my favorite ones. Washington Commanders wide receiver Jahan Dotson will be a free agent in 2 years. There you go. We need a slot wide receiver. Dotson is now the guy who's got to be favored in 2 years to be the Eagle slot wide receiver if it doesn't work out with Anaya Smith or anybody else. But Dotson was there at the softball game, and he could be a guy you have to watch. Can you imagine Dotson in the slot? That wouldn't be that bad. I think hopefully with Taylor-Britt we're good to go. Hopefully with Anaya Smith we're good to go. And here's the one that the Cowboy fans should be very, very worried about. This is something that I have said, but based on the fact that these softball games are really secretly a prime recruiting place to plant the seed to bring in free agents. Guess who was at his softball game 2 years ago? One future Eagle, Micah Parsons. That's right. Micah Parsons has already taken a part in these softball games. He has been part of it. And it don't look like, I don't know. When you look at Dallas Cowboys, everything that's going on with them, it doesn't look like Micah Parsons is going to be there long term. I don't see how all three of those free agents are going to be, and we'll talk about CeeDee Lamb in a second. But Micah Parsons has been to the celebrity softball game. So when you go to the softball game, there's a good chance that you could become an Eagle. We've got two guys from last year joined the Eagles after playing that softball game. Barkley was one of them. Micah Parsons is going to be free agent spot next year. He might get franchised 1 year, so maybe in 2 years he'll be ready to go. But it's all about the softball game. It's all about DeVonta Smith. It was a very interesting read because I really seriously have always wondered how much of a factor do those charity events how much do they affect things? And obviously I think they're not the determining factor, but they definitely play a part in maybe the final decision. Caden Steele, NewJersey.com is where you want to read that. Put the link in the description. Now, speaking of the Cowboys, they've got big problems. They've got major problems going on. Okay, I'm sure you guys have seen this by now. Cowboys CeeDee Lamb expected to skip training camp without a new contract per report. So CeeDee Lamb is prepared to skip out on camp. Now, what does that mean? That's bad news for the Dallas Cowboys. I already think the Dallas Cowboys got a problem on offense this year. They've lost their running game. To me, bringing back Zeke Elliott, who hasn't been good in 3-4 years already, isn't enough. Nobody's going to be threatened by the Dallas Cowboys run game. What they're going to do is they're going to pin their ears back on defense, and they're going to attack Dak Prescott, and they're going to go after the quarterback. Nobody's scared of that running game. And if you have CeeDee Lamb hold out most of camp, okay, then come back week 1 versus the Browns, chances are he's going to be on a snap count. He's going to be limited. And if you take CeeDee Lamb off the Dallas Cowboys offense, who scares you? Nobody. He's the only threat that they really have. So CeeDee Lamb, the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to pay him. They cannot afford to have him hold out. I really think their offense takes a step back. Now, today, we're getting also rumors that if CeeDee Lamb doesn't get what he wants, he is going to request a trade by the Dallas Cowboys. Now, will the Cowboys honor it? I have no idea. This was posted by Pretty Ricky. CeeDee Lamb will request to be traded if the Pound Cowboys do not offer him a new contract worth at least $32 million per year. He wants to be at least the second highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, Pound Dallas Cowboys. So they're saying that he wants to get paid just under what I guess Jefferson's getting paid. And if he doesn't get it, he's going to request a trade. Now, the Cowboys could get probably a first-round pick. I mean, they're so great at drafting. Why not? They could just sit there and go out and get a first-round pick for him. But would they really want to do that? So Dallas has a lot of problems. They still have to pay Dak Prescott. They still got to figure out how they're going to pay Micah Parsons. See, they've really made. Because they made good draft picks with CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, they've been able to play with these guys on a rookie deal. Now they have to pay them. And if they pay all three, I don't know how they're going to afford any other players in the league. You're talking about one of the highest paid quarterbacks now, because Dallas has waited to fix the Dak Prescott situation. Then you're talking about the guy wanting to be the second highest paid wide receiver. And then you got Micah Parsons, who wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback player in the league. So I don't know how the Dallas Cowboys are going to be able to pay off all these guys. I don't think they will. I think what will happen is, if you're Dallas, you're probably going to try to keep Dak and probably CeeDee Lamb. I would assume they'll pay CeeDee Lamb, but I think Micah Parsons is the guy out. And when Micah Parsons is looking at all those contracts and he's trying to figure out who to go to, he's going to remember DeVonta Smith's softball game. And eventually, future Eagle Micah Parsons will become a reality. With that said, take care. I will talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision, baby. We're all just living in it. And it's DeVonta Smith's vision, to be honest. Peace. So I know some of you guys like when I post this, people always asking me about my cats and stuff. Well, my cat just had a new litter. She had a litter of 7 kitties. They're almost a week old now. And here's a little bit of video for you guys who always ask to see it. I will keep you up to date, weekly as they grow. People always ask me about the kittens. They want to see pictures. And so here they are, all newborn, fighting over nips, like the Dallas Cowboys are going to be fighting for wins. But the cats are going to be much more successful. Denzel Washington, out.
Hi, Michael Anthony Fitness here, MAF.